The following program contains graphic displays of courage. If you suffer from weak knees, this show might not be right for you. Check with your orthopedic specialist.
Speaking the truth when others hold their tongues. Wrestling for justice with left-wingers and crocodiles. Resisting the temptation to keep the peace at any price. The only talk show host who writes his own theme music, Randall Terry.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I am against the choice of killing your baby, you murderer. And I'm a street clown. That's why I'm so funny. You've got to be willing to be a fool for Christ, or you will never impact the culture the way you really need to. Today's top stories. We announce BoehnerTeaParty.com. We're going to hold their feet to the fire. And our team goes to Baltimore to talk to American bishops. Hey, how long are you going to keep serving the body and blood of Christ to baby killers? And we are going to mobilize the pro-life community against Boehner and against the Republicans to hold them accountable. I'll tell you all the details. Today's program brought to you in part by the Boston Tea Party. If you want to know how to have a tea party, look back at the original. And by the abolitionists. If you want to see how to end a social evil, go to the abolitionists. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from my good friend, Jihad Granik. Don't go away.
Allah Akbar. Good morning, boys and girls. Today we talk about those people called Christians. Idolaters, haters of Allah. You know, one day Muslims, we take over America and then we defend our freedom to kill the infidels.
Welcome to the program, friend. Let's jump right into the news. We announced today, as those who make news, BoehnerTeaParty.com. That's right. Go to that site. We have created a site where you can hold John Boehner's feet to the fire.
Oh, John Boehner? But I thought he was our friend. Why are you picking fights with our friends?
Well, John Boehner is actually not our friend. He's our servant. We are his political masters. And he helped get us into this mess, and so we are holding his feet to the fire. Here is how this site, BoehnerTeaParty.com, will help you. Number one, you can go there and you can sign the petition that I'm going to read. And number two, there is a mechanism there for you to send faxes to all of the U.S. House members. It's way cheaper than sending them letters, and it gets read, whereas phone calls, click, they hang up on you, and emails are useless. So let me read to you the Tea Party Declaration. Then later in the show, I'm going to read to you the pro-life declaration. You ready? Tea Party Declaration to Republicans. Quote, "We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow men who pervert the Constitution." Abraham Lincoln. So for those of you who are a little tepid, those of you who are like, well, can we really say that we're their masters and they're our servants? Yeah, it's a part of our political heritage. It's the way this system works. And I'm trying to get you to throw off the shackles and to realize you are not the servant. They are. They are not the masters. We are. Now to the declaration. To John Boehner, GOP House members and members-elect, we, the undersigned, who gave you the majority, write to you concerning your upcoming legislative duties. While we rejoice that Nancy Pelosi will no longer be Speaker of the House, this is merely a first step in the long journey to restore life and liberty to our republic. At the onset of this journey, remember your moral obligations. They have moral obligations, and we're going to hold their feet to the fire. Here they are. We did not elect you to slow down Obama's agenda. We elected you to reverse it. We did not elect you to fix Obamacare. We elected you to repeal it. We did not elect you to spend more. We elected you to cut spending, taxes, and the debt. We did not elect you to create socialism light. We elected you to end socialism in America. Therefore, you must begin the legislative process of phasing out all socialist redistribution of wealth programs, including, or rather in a humanitarian yet timely manner, including but not limited to Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps, agricultural subsidies, and all bailouts. Friends, if we're going to restore this republic, if we're going to get free from the federal plantation, we have to come out swinging, and we have to define the terms of this battle now. Let's continue reading. Boehner said, defend the defenseless, defund Planned Parenthood. Thomas Jefferson said, God who gave us life gave us liberty. And can the liberties of a nation be thought secure when we have removed their only firm basis, a conviction in the minds of the people that these liberties are a gift from God, that they are not to be violated but with his wrath? Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just and that his justice cannot sleep forever. Thomas Jefferson. Ed, where are we at in our time?
1 minute, 9 seconds.
All right, got a couple more minutes here, folks. And I'm going to keep reading. While the economy is important, human life is sacred. As John Boehner said, when human life takes a backseat to other priorities, personal comforts, economics, freedom is diminished. We have a moral obligation to defend the defenseless. And nothing is more defenseless or more innocent or more pure than an unborn baby. Those are the words that John Boehner said just a few months ago. We're going to hold you accountable to those words, Mr. Boehner. We concur. Therefore, we demand that you fight with concrete legislation to abolish legalized child killing by abortion, employing Article 3, Section 2 to exclude jurisdiction of the federal courts in any legislation you pass to protect unborn babies. Your first simple step to protect unborn children is to cease all federal funding of Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is the largest consortium of child killers in the world. Since you now control federal spending, we insist that you not give one more penny of our money to this godless organization that murders babies and corrupts youth under the guise of sex education. You are on probation. Produce results or lose your job. We will watch every vote you cast for every bill and take special note of the bills that you fail to introduce. Since you came to power based on promises you made to us regarding life and liberty, we will continuously hold you to a higher standard than the Democrats you displaced. Defunding Planned Parenthood is non-negotiable. I'll let you go and read the rest. Here's how I end it. We will not allow the hypocrisy and treachery of the GOP's contract with America in 1994 to be repeated in the feeble pledge to America. We want concrete results, not campaign rhetoric. As George Washington said, deeds, not words. We are your subjects, or rather we are not your subjects. We are your masters. We expect you to serve us faithfully, so help you God. Go to the website, BoehnerTeaParty.com. I only had to leave out a few words for time's sake. Sign your name to this right away. I'll be right back. You'll see our guys going to Baltimore to ask some bishops some tough questions.
People who say they're atheists are really stupid. If they live their life by that principle, they leave no room for error.
Moments with Moses. And you shall perish among the nations, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up.
And now, here's the footage of our guys going to the Baltimore USCCB Conference of Bishops. Watch.
We're at the Marriott in Baltimore with a whole host of bishops, and we can't wait to talk with them, archbishops from around the country. I've got a question about Canon 915, and I'm just wondering, do you know when that would be implemented? How long are we going to give communion to, the baby killers?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to pass up on that.
Okay. We're really concerned about giving Holy Communion to the politicians like Archbishop Worrell, soon to be Cardinal Worrell. giving Holy Communion to people, you know, that are politicians, they're outright sinning. It's obstinate public sin.
I think the church needs to be clear and a clarion voice about what the gospel of life is about, and about, you know, how discordant is the conduct of Catholic politicians who act in that way, and we need to really educate voters, Catholics and non-Catholics, about how this is not only immoral, but it really doesn't serve the common good to have, you know, innocent life treated that way.
Where are you from?
Oh,
we're from Virginia.
Virginia.
From where?
From
Laverty's.
Oh, I love him. I love him.
Yeah.
He's yelling at me. Apparently, I'm late.
How long are we going to give Holy Communion to baby-killing politicians? Those politicians who claim to be Catholic, right? And then they don't toe the line. In fact, they're pushing the health bill, Pelosi, Kerry, you know, the rest, those people. How long do you think it's going to be until 9/15 is implemented?
Well, it's a very painful issue. Part of the question is, how do you enforce a rule like that? You know, do you tell all the Eucharistic ministers to spot that person, you know, and not to give them communion? It really, I think, has to be something that you appeal to the conscience of that individual and say, as long as you're taking this kind of position, you really shouldn't be receiving Holy Communion. I'm very involved in the pro-life movement.
Do you work with Cardinal DiNardo?
Not formally, no, but I've been involved ever since I've been a priest, even before. That's a birthright bracelet. You probably don't see that
maybe
very
with
often.
Operation Rescue too, or
I was with that when.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe you were thrown in jail for it too.
No, the bishop said you can be involved, but as long as you're not arrested. So I followed orders, but I was up at the door of the centers, and you know, until we were ordered finally to leave or be arrested. I don't have a lack of commitment, but on that particular question, it raises some very difficult issues about how you carry it out.
Would you say that Archbishop, or soon-to-be Cardinal Burke, has he answered those difficulties in your estimation by the papers he's put out and the speeches he's written regarding the implementation of 9/15? I don't know.
I'm not familiar with exactly the statement of Archbishop Burke that you're referring to.
I mean, he doesn't agree with giving communion to people who are living in grave manifest sin. I mean, that's
absolutely not.
Right.
Wondering, how long are we going to have the scandal of giving Holy Communion to child-killing politicians like Kerry, Pelosi, and all the rest?
Question. It's a strong issue, but when we do it, we've got to look at the whole thing, because there's not just politicians, but there's people who run abortion clinics, people who work for Planned Parenthood who are also Catholic. So there's a whole. Bishops need to be able to find the right way and the right time to teach on that.
But Your Excellencies,
thank you
so much for your time. I've got my Catholic credentials with me today. Went to daily Mass, prayed my rosary. That's not enough to keep me here. I need some credentials sent from heaven in order to speak with the gods among us.
That's right.
So we have been ushered out of this hotel, not because we're not Christian, not because we're not Catholic, not because we don't care about the unborn, but because we don't have the magic credentials sent from heaven. So we're looking to make some noise outside. So,
Archbishop, stop giving communion to baby killers. Archbishop, you'll answer to God. Stop giving communion to baby killers.
How long will we be giving Holy Communion to child-killing politicians? How long, Your Excellencies?
Your Excellencies, we plead with you to stop giving communion to the child killers, the pro-abort politicians.
We beg you,
They defy God. Do not defy God with them, please. Please, it's the body and blood of Christ. Don't take the body and blood of Christ lightly. In the name of Jesus, please, stop giving communion to the killers of children.
Great job, guys. Prophetic, hard-hitting. I love it. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, the Boehner pro-life declaration. You pro-lifers are not going to want to miss this.
We have got to name names in this battle. That is the history, that is the theology of the church. And if the IRS says, no, you can't name a name, you have to decide at that minute, who is the Lord of your tongue? Who is the Lord of your pen? Who is the Lord of the gospel? Is it Jesus or the IRS?
It is a fine thing to be honest, but it is also very important to be right. Sir Winston Churchill. Welcome back to the program, friend. Now, the pro-life demands to John Boehner and the House GOP. Read it online at BoehnerTeaParty.com. Mr. Boehner, we write to you in the name of the Holy Trinity regarding the murder of babies by abortion. You recently said, when human life takes a backseat to other priorities, personal comforts, economics, freedom is diminished. We have a moral obligation to defend the defenseless, and nothing is more defenseless or more innocent or more pure than an unborn baby. That's what John Boehner said. In the same speech, you said, there is no cause more noble than the defense of human life. There is no mission more critical, no debate more urgent. John Boehner, June 2010. Mr. Boehner, we concur. The blood of over 50 million babies cries out to God from the landfills and sewers of America. How long, O Lord? How long? When will you avenge our blood? Your recent victory in the U.S. House has the possibility, but by no means the assurance, to hasten the end of the slaughter of innocents. The fate of millions of babies is in your hands. Your moral obligation to God and his children is clear: to make the deliberate killing of human beings illegal from conception till birth, whether by surgical or chemical means. You recently condemned President Obama for repealing, quote, the Mexico City policy that prevents taxpayer dollars from going to international family planning organizations that promote and sometimes provide abortion services. Your condemnation was just. Now that you control federal spending, what will you do? As you said, any politician can say he or she is pro-life. Actions speak louder than words. We have your words, Mr. Boehner. We await your actions for the babies and against those who promote and procure their deaths. Therefore, we, the undersigned, in the presence of God, his angels, and the souls of the babies dispatched by the abortionist knife, demand that you take a first, critical, and tangible step toward outlawing all child killing. Namely, follow your own counsel. Defund Planned Parenthood. We call on you to be a man of your word. Defund Planned Parenthood, International Planned Parenthood Federation, their affiliates in the U.S., its territories, and all nations of the world. Planned Parenthood is the world's foremost child killer. Since the GOP now controls federal spending, we demand that you not give one more penny of our money to this godless organization that murders babies and corrupts youth under the guise of sex education. Mr. Boehner, defunding Planned Parenthood is non-negotiable. As you said, quote, as we look to the future, we need to know who the defenders of life really are. No one gets a pass to life when it comes to life. We agree. If you defund Planned Parenthood, you will be remembered as a hero in time and eternity. But if you fail to act in your words, you will not get a pass. We will run candidates against you and your fellow Republicans in 2012. We will not suffer hypocrites for life. God have mercy on your soul if you were using murdered babies as a political stepping stone. Go to BoehnerTeaParty.com and add your name to this petition. I'll be right back. O Lord, thou God of vengeance, shine forth. Rise up, O judge of the earth. Render to the proud their deserts. O Lord, how long shall the wicked exult? Abraham Lincoln said, "We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow men who pervert the Constitution. Friends, if we are going to restore this republic, we have to play hardball. We have to throw political punches. We have to show them that we mean business, and that means we threaten their political careers. Threaten to throw them out as fast as we threw out the Democrats. Go to BoehnerTeaParty.com.